Okay, let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 9, Business Intelligence Systems. Another one of my favorite chapters. I like talking about this. Some of the study questions that we will address, along with others, are how do organizations use BI systems? I'll discuss some of the components of it. We actually have a program that used to be titled BI, but now it's BDA, Business Data Analytics. It has been changed from business intelligence and business informatics, but they all mean the same thing, so we will discuss those. Primary activities, organizations using warehouses and data marts. Discussed that chapter already. And so let's jump right into this and get started. How do they use this? The biggest thing is they do is work with data. 90+%, and depending on the source that you use, 90+% of the data today is not analyzed. It's stored. You know, if you go to Kroger and you have one of those little cards and it's supposed to give you 30 cents off on your milk, then you use that card and you get your discount, which actually the milk was priced 30 cents more so that they could reduce that down with that card. But the whole idea is not to give you money off. The whole idea is to record data. Records who was shopping, when you were shopping. They know your gender. They know when you were shopping. They know what you bought. They know what you paid for it. They can analyze and be able to know what to stock, what to sell, and how to encourage you to spend more money. So then this is all done based on knowledge workers and what knowledge workers do. Samples of the uses here. You know, we can look at all of these, but the one I want to talk about more than anything is problem solving. We seem to not do a very good job at problem solving today. You know, in order to solve a problem, you gather your data, you analyze your data, you make an intelligent guess, and then if you record the results, and if those results don't work well, then you go back again and do that all over again. But there are systems designed to help us, and I will discuss those as we use this right now in trying to save money and increase the bottom line for the company. Typical uses, purchasing patterns, I've talked about that already with Kroger. Entertainment, Netflix. Netflix knows what I like to watch. I have an account with Netflix. I have an account with Amazon. Amazon knows what I buy and what I will buy. They have got this even down to the point where they know how long I buy my shoes through Amazon. Amazon knows how long shoes last, and then they will start sending me tickler files or tickler statements as I'm online in order to encourage me to buy more shoes. So, and then just-in-time medical reporting. Everything medical-wise I do is online. It's analyzed. Western has a program, as you all know about, has a program through its medical facilities in order to encourage you to exercise more and to get more healthy. Why? Well, it costs less money to treat a healthy person. So what are the three primary activities? Acquire data, perform analysis, and publish the results. Those are the things we use. I've talked about that already. So when you look at this, many of you may not know what data cleansing is, and you have to have, again, a GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't use clean data, then you have a problem as it gets through to publish the results. Your results are in error, and so they don't work well. But this feedback loop continues to go through. It should continue to go through. You have a push-pull system. As you can see, these knowledge workers over here pushing information. They actually query information to get, or they pull information down. Acquire data. The first step in what we do, you query the data. We talked about databases. You query the stuff, you bring it in. You know, for many companies, this is where it stops. This ought to be where it starts. So hopefully, I hope you can understand that. Sampling the extracted data, joining the order. Again, your part number, and these two part numbers are joined here. You're joining these two tables. These two tables again will be able to take the orders and match it with the parts for the data for the part number. It's important that we do that, and if you'll look down here, you have the criteria that is all set up for this right now in order to find this right here, this vendor part data. So all of this right here comes from this area, and then this over here comes from this area. So this part number, this customer orders, gets matched up over here. You can include the cost and everything else that you are looking for right now. Creating customer summary query. Again, you're querying this right now. We have our fields located across here. You have a statement in here. You're looking for the sum of the revenue, let's see, divided by the sum of the units, or an average price. This, of course, is an expression. I think our next slide will show us. Here it is right here. So this query right here, and you all will be doing this in a few weeks. This query, well, maybe even right now, because we're right in the time frame for this to happen. And then there's your price over here, and of course you can take this down even further and eliminate this down to get for a couple of decimal places right here. Qualifying parts query design. Same as before. What you're trying to find is the areas right here, and you can see this over now. Ends up right there. Publishing the results, and then you complete that circle. So how do organizations use data warehouses and data marts to acquire data? Well, you go out and get the data, and depending on where you get it, do you have to pay for it? Yep, sometimes. If I want to do some research, and I want to research in West Kentucky, I could contact the Chamber of Commerce in West Kentucky and say I'm doing a research project. I've been given permission by the IRB from Western to do a research project, and I want to use all the businesses in your area. And they say, great. If you'll send me $150, we will send you a database. That database will contain all the contact information for all the businesses that belong to the chamber. So you acquire data from like there. Clean the data. Want to make sure that if your data is accurate. Dirty data is usually obnoxious. It looks obnoxious. It would have something that would not fit, and you have to kind of determine the pattern and something that's extraneous from the pattern. You organize it and relate it. You will do that soon with a database, and then you catalog the data. Components of a data warehouse. I'll let you look through this model really quick. Purchasing data. There you are. Somebody has this. How do you find it? Google data purchase, and you will find it. Just about anything you want can be bought. Possible problems. I told you about dirty data, data that does not fit a pattern. The biggest problem I've seen, though, is missing values. Let me give you a for instance. If you are doing a survey and you send the survey out and you're asking 10 questions and somebody only answers 9 questions, then you have missing values. How does that work? Most of the time, you throw out everything that's missing, which means records that come in that have incomplete fields, you just throw them away. That is the best way to deal with data. If you don't, then you're going to get skewed results. And for instance, if you're surveying, just think of something rudimentary, like if you're surveying people that like chocolate ice cream, you survey 10 people, 6 people say they do like chocolate ice cream, 4 people say they don't like, 3 people say they don't like ice cream, then you have 1 or more that don't say anything, yes or no. Well, does that go with the yes or does that go with the no? Do they like chocolate ice cream or not? That's why the whole record has to be thrown out. Data warehouses versus data marts. look at the data mart right here and look at the data warehouse over here and form the difference right now. 3 techniques for reporting data, for processing BI data, reporting it, you're mining it and doing big data and what you're going to do with this. The reporting right here is structured data, exception reports. You all have seen structured data. I've shown it to you already. You will see it many more times. You've also been working with databases, and that can look like a structured data. Exception reports, when something out of bounds occurs, for instance, if you work at a utility company and you're in charge of contacting people about missed payments, you will probably not want to look at the 37,000 customers that have power with you or water. You probably want to see the ones, and 37,000 customers, and then see whether they paid or not. That would be hard to go through. All you want is an exception report of the ones that have not paid. The ones that have paid, you leave them alone. The ones that have not paid is when you start doing something. That's an exception report. Data mining is drilling in. For instance, if I was looking at finding out if I was a company, and I have a customer that says that he or she did not receive the product, then I would go back and look and make sure they have paid. So you have to go into your accounts receivable, and you look and see if you've received money from that customer. So you're drilling down into the data set in order to see this right now. 2 broad categories are unsupervised procedures. I'll let you read that. And then, of course, the other one must be supervised procedures. And I'll let you read that. Big data, a huge amount of volume, huge volume. Petabyte, we had petabytes and ectobytes, that big. So a lot of data. Most of it goes unanalyzed. And let's see, map, Google Trends on Web 2.0. Get an idea of, this is searching right here, and then the forecast. Let's see if I can figure this model out. Web 2.0 compared with Hadoop. And you're just seeing how knowledgeable Web 2.0 is. Web 2.0 went up high on this year, and then it dropped back off again. Hadoop has continued to increase the 2 search terms. I'll let you read that. The alternatives for publishing business intelligence. You can see what you can do with that right there. Two functions of a BI server. Have applications here. This entire BI system. What does this do to the BI users? Information comes in requested by the BI users. So how does the knowledge in this chapter help you? Well, I hope you understand by now that business intelligence is a critical skill that everyone needs part in. It's no longer able to have data scientists or people that control that. You need to know something about what you are doing. Digital marketing is #1 priority for technology investment. Agree with that. Ethics guide. Let's see if we can look at acquires and purchases consumer and other data from this. You know, and if you're buying data, let's say I am doing some research, and as a professor at Western, I'm doing research, and I am trying to look at some of the demographics of the county, of Warren County, and I'm comparing that with, say, Butler County. And so I do some research and I get records of all the people's utility accounts. And so I get the information in, and if I use that information or possibly sell that information, then that is an example of something that's unethical. Yeah, this is a big deal. Do you know what data is gathered about you and what is done with it? You know, you really don't. You can say, well, I didn't give out that information. You don't have to. Everything about you, birth date, everything about you, if you have children, parents still living, all of that information is public knowledge. It's out there. Now, should it be public knowledge? Of course not, but now it is public knowledge. It won't take very much money or time to find out anything about anybody. The reason why is because there's a lot of people that are unscrupulous out there, unethical people that will sell anything they have. They will sell for $1. So it's out there, and that's the problem with this right now. Is if you're doing something that's not right, it will get caught. Just because everything is public knowledge right now. Where's it all in? Gee, I don't know. As long as they're computers, you really have to live in a cave in order to not have your life put on file. Yeah, let's see. We've bypassed these models so far. So let me talk about this as our last slide. And how do organizations use BI? And we've mentioned that. The 3 primary activities, we know what that is. Information processing output. How do they use data warehouses and data marts to acquire data? We mentioned that. 3 techniques for processing BI data. We've talked about that. And alternatives for publishing BI. Excuse me. And I hope by now you can see the importance of BI. And that will be all. Good day.